All right, everybody, we were running a quick test for you, and good news, you passed. We didn't, so we're giving it a second try. We're here with the NECC playoff semifinals, top four action. And BearLight, we're kicking off with Division 3 Mid-East playoffs. Why don't we talk about the first couple of teams coming up here?
We're feeling good tonight. That's what it is, PyroJ. So much so that we were speechless on how good these matchups are. The first one being number 2, Indiana Tech B. They came in at 6-1 in the regular season, facing off with number 3, Mount Union Purple, coming in at 5-2. Chippy Feet and Cloud for the Indiana Tech roster, but they're going up against Mount Union, who also is pretty good all season long.
Yeah, both teams featuring 4 wins during the regular season. Mount Union Purple, an extra loss, but or I'm sorry, that is 6-1 for Indiana Tech and 5-2 for Mount Union. I was checking out their performance in the first round of playoffs, in which obviously they both won to get here in the top 4. So really stellar results from the regular season through the quarterfinals and now in the top 4. And this is where things get interesting, BearLight. This is where it's not David versus Goliath. This is 2 Titans clashing.
That's right. Anytime you get a number 2 versus number 3 matchup here in NECC, they do such a great job seeding here at the NECC that you love to see the battle all season long. Now, they come from 2 different sides of this Mid-East regional of Division 3, so that means that we've yet to see, these 2 teams go up against one another. But Indiana Tech, again, with a 4-1 performance against Alvernia Gold. Mount Union Purple coming in with a 4-2 victory over Illini Blue in the first round, so Indiana Tech just maybe a slight edge both in the seeding and the way they performed in the first match. Now, that granted, number 2 obviously gets a little bit of an easier matchup in the first round, so maybe it's attributed to that. Either way, we've got great Rocket League here for you tonight.
And best of 7, of course, first to 4 wins. So it's a long game Rocket League as well, but nothing these players aren't used to. All divisions in NECC during the regular season feature a full best of 7, and many of them have gone the distance. So you're likely to get just that in the playoffs here, but maybe a little bit of scoring early on for Indiana Tech if they throw on those goal line demos more often.
Certainly eyeballing it as we came in here. And of course, the key to success, especially when we talk about these established programs that we've seen for an extended period of time, it's going to be about the grit that you play with, right? You play with the head of confidence. Are you coming in here and really just kind of winging it? That's never really what you see, but the team that really does focus, dial in, and play all 5 minutes of every single game, that's the team that's going to find success here tonight.
Yeah, when we're talking about established programs, I'm really excited about this Indiana Tech team. Players like Cloud getting the flip reset off the backboard, trying to tee up their team. You've got an Indiana Tech main squad that is rivaling the top 8 even of CRL at times, or the collegiate space. So when you have like an inspiring main squad like that, the sky's the limit, right, for this Indiana Tech team. So let's see what this program can pull off tonight in the top 4 of these NECC playoffs.
Well, they already have their hands full for sure, as Mount Union Purple has been all over them since the rip here. You're seeing them having great midfield presence right on cue as Andy pulls it down, and Thunder look to march in. He's been the corner maniac here trying to deny them, and that shot going to be on target. They're able to easily get back to it, stretch out, and now Mount Union Purple catching a little bit of steam here from Indiana Tech as they finally found boost in their tanks. They've been starved for a while now.
Got to top up where you can and when you can, and sometimes it's hard to find that timing, but the mid and the quarter boost secured by Mount Union Purple. That's going to allow him to drill this ball towards the net. Nothing Chippy can't handle. An easy lean back stop for them, and now it's up to the backboard defensive Cloud coming in swinging hot for that clear, but the quick turnaround from Feed, unfortunate on the shot. Think he had a lane there, but the shot got away from him.
Sometimes that'll happen early in a series, especially, you come in, the nerves not extremely high. They've certainly been in high pressure situations before, but at the same time, you like to see them kind of settle in, and it takes a minute to do so, especially when you're going up against a team that you haven't seen all season long. So once again, once they find their tread, you'll start to see plays like this develop. Mount Union Purple that close to being able to punch it through, but Indiana Tech will be able to get it over to a teammate. That's before they're demoed off it. A double demo as they try to take a shot also, but Mount Union Purple kind of failed to get an opportunity that was grade A there in that moment when they had to off the pitch.
but that might be it. It is Chippy far down. Look at the positioning here from Chippy, ready to pick up the breadcrumbs of this play the whole way through. And look at that. It costed their life. The demo meant nothing in the end.
Yeah, sometimes, in Mount Union's perspective, it looked like the back pass was the right play, but you were being tracked down, hunted down, and Indiana Tech was able to make them pay. And Chippy right back to work again off the kickoff. Took less than 5 seconds to make it a 2-0 game.
All right. Now, was this Chippy really? That's a steal at the end. You know what? It's a secure. They're securing the goal, and in playoffs, BearLight, you can never be too sure.
Exactly. Always in that moment of misery that you hold yourself in sometimes, surrendering that first goal. You never like to see 2 in a row, especially if you're Mountain Union here at this point in time. You got Cloud working for you as well. The solo play should waterfall its way down, but that one's going to be handled by Mountain Union. And Chippy also challenged. Feed's going to just give a back pass. This one is actually successful here for Indiana Tech. Mount Union now find themselves in trouble. Shot going to be there. It's going to be denied here by Icy, but Chippy right back to the back wall. That one also denied Mount Union Purple. They're catching some heat here early.
Really are. Is there something that Mount Union Purple can do to cool them off, though? I mean, in terms of shot, it's been 9 total, but 9 have been rallied by Mount Union Purple as well. But you can feel that the magnitude of shots from the Indiana Tech side have just been a little bit more to perspire these Mount Union players. Meanwhile, though, still opportunities on the other side of the field, under a minute to go, so they've got to start getting it through the net. And it's a difficult thing to do when Chippy holding the backline feed, trying to flip into the ball in time. Can't quite do it. Kenny slides it in.
You got to know the right time to be able to come back in support and be that close to your teammate and step in the right time, especially against a team that had Feed and Cloud. Those are the two that had the opportunity to go up and challenge. Typically, they're extremely fast to get to the ball. This time around, they took their time a little bit, and if they're going to give you that space, Mountain Union Purple is going to take it. Good for them, too, because they have 25 seconds, so certainly not out of this game, number 1.
Certainly not out, and only one way to get in. 20 seconds, have to score. TK pops it up. Cloud gonna keep the possession on the other side of the field, and that's a miss from Thunder. Down on the goal line, big chance to secure the game, but the shot is missed. TK downfield, Cloud hoping to secure the ball and get it all the way down on the clock. A dangerous spiral effort across the net will still give clearance to the ball. Feed knocks it down, and there it is. Indiana Tech start ahead.
Both teams coming out with the passion. You know that they are establishing their style of play, and it certainly showed that they were sticking to their guns, because Indiana Tech, despite that one kickoff goal, that was literally the difference in the game, was the back-to-back goals here. Both teams put on a lot of pressure, as you can see by the shot count. Mountain Union actually with the edge there in this game, and, just one opportunity available, and I believe one missed shot as well that would have been able to equalize this one. So certainly a lot of good things coming from both camps as they started to settle in. We start to see that close matchup that we were looking for here tonight. Pyro, we're in for a treat, man.
Well, when there was no scoring in the first 3 minutes of the game, I was like, yeah, we got exactly what we asked for here. But at the end of the day, I mean, Mount Union just needs to find a way to hold it together. It's kind of split apart on the defensive end due to the physicality, due to the high-flying antics of Indiana Tech. I mean, I'm loving the flip reset plays from Cloud and just the rebounding effort in general from Indiana Tech. But then falling to that kickoff goal right after. There just has to be that stabilization from Mount Union. I don't want to see them fall apart when they concede that first goal, because they did bounce back there in the final minute. So game's still developing here for sure, especially as the shot accuracy sharpens throughout this series. I'm excited to see what we'll witness in game number 2.
Yeah, I think you're right, because, when we talk about going into game number 2, game 1 was such a battle back and forth for grind. And when I say you got to play the full 5 minutes for every single game in a series, letting your guard down for just 1 second off the kickoff was enough to make that difference, like I mentioned. And now they'll surrender the first one again here, as Cloud will make it 1-0 here for Indiana Tech.
Wow. All right, Chippy, getting things moving real nice and quick here. You mentioned it. You got to stabilize off that kickoff, and starting to fall apart once again for Mount Union Purple, but I'll applaud Indiana Tech as well. I mean, you can play a little more conservatively at the start of the game. No, they're sending everything at the net to get ahead quick.
That demo is going to free up some space here for Indiana Tech as they'll start from their own end. Left it for Cloud as he will go sky high for this one. A good touch that denied, but actually almost fell back into the hands of Cloud as he was looking to settle it in. And this one will fall down to the ground where Chippy's waiting for it. Has been dynamic, both in the goal scoring column, but also sparking some of that offense. To your point, Cloud will go back wall. And Mount Union Purple hasn't been able to relieve pressure. Finally, a big clear will allow them to breathe and grab boost, get back into rotation here. A minute in, it's been an onslaught from Indiana Tech. They're lucky to breathe.
Yeah, and I wish they took that moment to breathe. Right off the clear, Thunder pushed up way too far ahead on the play, ended up behind it and exhausting their boost for no touch on the ball. There just has to be that calculated difference on the counterattack. And, well, what do you know? There it is from TK Zanny.
Zanny was ready for this pass and called off the teammate too. You can tell the communication on point. Because I feel like, you know, Thunder at the end of the day could have easily just carried that himself and tried for a ground pinch or a pinch off his car. But the better option, because that net was empty, was to go directly on target. So great decision making here from Mount Union Purple to equalize here with 3:52 left.
Chippy going straight at the attack, and jumping that early kind of shows your cards in a sense, but they have the mechanics and the calculated 50s to back it up. Just love this aggression that we have seen out of Indiana Tech B. It's unrelenting, but it does mean you can overexert yourself at times, and another counterattack chance rears its ugly head against Indiana Tech B. This time, though, they're able to save the day for a moment there. Patience from Cloud to avoid the bump. Chippy now on the backboard, but bumped away. Calls in Cloud to help on the effort.
I just love what Chippy's been able to do here early. Just, you know, defensively, always there, right, positionally, and then creating offensive chances as well. Certainly been the most balanced player here. Now Union Purple now find themselves on the backtrack here as Indiana Tech is able to clear as well. And those are the big moments that really do matter here at the end of the day. Demo from Icy. Thunder pulls it down to, not able to get past Cloud, only able to march to midfield because Cloud right back on it here for Indiana Tech.
Still dangerous here. Pass in front of the backboard. Cloud folds into the play. Icy misses. Cloud with the chance to pass. Thunder leaves it open wide for Chippy. The lob shots off the post won't quite go, but the pass follows and the rebound effort denied. Thunder able to get out in front, but not yet with a clear redirect opportunity. But Feed avoiding the ball and getting into the calamitous zone of the paint. There was no goalie, but no shot taker either. Still connecting the dots are Indiana Tech B on this possession, and the bump will go yet again. And the missed backflip from Cloud means disaster for Indiana.
Rare mistake here from Indiana Tech. Any of their teams would tell you better. As Thunder caught him by surprise, went behind them. And sometimes you recognize that and you just put it on net and hopefully good things will happen. Well, you're able to find a little bit of space. The missed backflip is tough pill to swallow, but you still got 2:10 left. Got to put it out of your mind. And here's a great opportunity off the kickoff to do exactly that. But TK Zanny was able to handle it, air dribble it to the corner so the rest of the cavalry can come around and try to bail him out. But they're still having trouble. They're not able to get it out. Feed will equalize here just under 2 minutes left.
Something about this kick-off pressure, I will tell you what. Mount Union Purple just unable to collect the resources, readying them for the defense. That was a miss on the back line just due to not having the boost to get to it. And positioned a little far from that back post. But nevertheless, I digress. This is another shot off the kickoff. Feed! What a save! Getting back just in time. Something Mount Union Purple haven't been able to do off the kickoff.
Get used to watching that type of play. His recovery speed's always been excellent every time I watch Feed in action, so no surprise. Able to swing that one. Leave a little bit of pressure here defensively. Also in the face of Thunder, making it very difficult to get past midfield, and when they do, it falls right back into the hands of Chippy, but Thunder will punch it in. Feed will catch it here on the sidewall, just waiting for a reaction there from Mount Union. Was able to get past one, but not two, and bumped out of the play as Cloud. Plenty of space available, but Mount Union Purple wasn't able to get to it, and now Feed able to dribble it out himself. Off the corner, he'll go. Tries to get that extra little strong play, and Chippy thought about jumping into the play, but Mount Union Purple able to handle it.
That hesitation caused Chippy to not get as concise of a touch on it. Kind of flew by the ball, and, well, I guess the possession flew by the wayside at that point. But with under a minute remaining, they are still chomping at the bit. Chippy with that ceiling pinch. that clear from Thunder contested. And now you've got a great effort from Indiana Tech B. That's a waterfall pass down to Chippy. And the follow-up goal gets in.
Chippy's always there in support, and there, once again, we see a great touch from Cloud. So that really the 1-2-3 working in tandem as a machine, really, on their offensive side. It's so tough to handle, man. I mean, you go up against this, you don't know which way it's going to come from, but you do know that somebody's going to be dynamic and close it out. That touch from Cloud was huge and set everything up here for Indiana Tech.
Ooh, usually the kickoff favoring Indiana Tech B, but the first shot goes for Mount Union Purple. Looks like Indiana Tech wants to lock down on defense to surefire bet their second win in the series. So far, so good. One ball collected by Thunder. It's been a no man's land feed trying to beat the whole team of Mount Union to the ball and succeeds in doing so. Ton of boost to get massive clearance on this ball. Find a teammate, get it to Chippy. Unbelievable. Save from Thunder. Icy follows up with the block, and there will be one last desperation effort for this team. Under the ball is Icy as it's taken away, batted around by Indiana Tech players. And they search for the ground. Will not find it for an extended period of time, but eventually it falls. Indiana Tech B up by 2.
Yeah, they just, held off more than anything else. Mount Union Purple, but did, again, at the end, they were the ones that kind of were able to create their own luck deep into this game. They took the lead late, and just over 30 seconds left, and it's because of the balanced scoreboard that you're talking about. You thought I was just making things up, maybe, but I was not. This is such a balanced breakfast to go up against. It's difficult to do, and Cloud, a big difference maker, everybody getting involved. And I think from Mount Union's perspective, it'll take and require the same thing. Everybody was still pretty good. You saw Icy come up in big defensive moments, but still not the shot count that we saw earlier in the series in game number 1, so it might have been the difference maker here. You find yourself down in an early 2-0, but at the end of the day, I mean, I'm still not concerned. I'm not tossing any red flags up. There's been nothing concerning from this team other than just letting their guard down for just a moment. It happened in game 1 and again here in game number 2, Pyro.
That's right. Yeah, Mount Union Purple, their shot count doesn't bother me too much for the select reason as their strategy to me is bend, don't break. 2 of their goals came from counterattacks. Play defense, don't break, get the counterattack goal, because you have a very aggressive Indiana Tech team who is throwing shot, rebound, overexerting themselves again and again and scoring for it. But when they don't, they are late on the recovery. So if the defense holds for Mount Union Purple, they will find more counterattack goals. They need that, and they need to not concede the kickoffs as well. BearLight 2. Those first 2 goals from Indiana Tech were off of kickoff pressure. So far, so good. Mount Union as we're zeroed out after the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think the only real glaring issue, right, is off the kickoffs is something you certainly want to be able to clean up, too. And as long as Chippy and Feed don't have that recovery speed we've known to love there defensively, then maybe that counterattack will be effective, but maybe just as simple as taking them out of the play to you with a bump instead of a demo. That way they're not respawning back whenever they do play aggressively. But look at that touch from Feed. He's hungry for one early here, Pyro.
He is. You might as well be with an aim like that, ready to feast. But, for their matter, they'll have to get to the table another time. Ooh, that's a dangerous one there from Icy. Feed nearly collected another. But it goes across the width of the field. Now we're just batting it away. Midfield ball up for grabs. Icy loses the 50. Thunder in search of TK. It's right over their head. The more chances a Feed gets on these opportunities from midfield or off the backboard, the worse it's going to get for Mount Union Purple. Because when I saw that double tap get as close as it was, they are at the brink of excellence.
Yeah, it seems like they're always just an inch away from breaking through at any given moment, especially if you let your guard down and miss, as that missed touch there from Mount Union led to an opportunity. Back on it, not any boost, but he did steal the 100 in the corner, but not able to utilize anything. Well, I take that back. Gets a demo, but feeds all the way back. And now we'll have to kind of play it from there. Does have some space to work with, enough boost in the tank to do something, but not enough to press into the boxes. Thunder was sitting there waiting, and Mount Union Purple now have their opportunity as they'll step on the gas pedal. But guess who's there? As always, Chippy in the right place, right time. How many times have I said that in just the last few games?
Yeah, we need a man-on-man, car-on-car defense against Chippy. Get him out of the way. If you're Mount Union Purple, just the everlasting nuisance on that team that they cannot get rid of. End-to-end plays being dominantly done by Chippy to keep this stronghold together for Indiana Tech B. Loose ball, though, as that strong grip is loosening just a bit. Centered ball from Mount Union Purple will not be taken up. Nice 50 out of Chippy. That will relay the ball across to the other corner that Beat is chasing. Sort of a back pass out to Cloud that just won't connect. And just like that, we're down the other way. Reflections of game one here in game number 3.
Lots and lots of defense. And whoever breaks through first has ultimately the best chance. Thunder again. Gonna find a little bit of support there. It came later than usual here from Mount Union Purple. Now they will turn on this one. Now Thunder's got him. Great tracking as well and shadowing there from TK Zanny, but he's gonna be beat to it. Nobody back here as Cloud has to leave it for feed now. What a defensive effort from Thunder. Indiana Tech had a grand opportunity there, but it just kind of fell away.
Cloud knew what they needed to do, get the flip reset with no boost and fling that ball to the net, but without any resources, it is so difficult to pull off. The lead blocker could have taken out that last defender, but you saw Thunder was just a little better on the play. Talk about one last defender, it's Chippy that time around, and you can be just as sure that they'll save it as well. You mentioned a lot of defense. We're continuing to see it now with just 1 minute remaining.
And when goals are coming at a premium, you really want to be able to create your chances, but also lock down defensively. And right now, Mount Union, a little bit of panic setting in. They're going east to west, and it is Indiana Tech really forcing their hands, making them do it. As that's another demo here, and you got to be frustrated if you're Mount Union Purple. You don't want to be, obviously, as you don't play as well when that is the case. You don't want to tilt. But they've got a grand opportunity here. Shot taken, but Cloud able to circle around, and even without boost, play it well there defensively yet again.
This may be the most important 30 seconds of Mount Union play. If they do score here, they will not have to reverse sweep a best of 7 in the semifinal. Something so impossible to do, but they might be forced to do it. What a tee off from feed to the team. Cloud, too nearsided on the shot. Follow-up is saved. Thunder saves it again. 10 seconds remaining. Mount Union playing survival. Loose ball, not taken by Cloud. TK around the corner, just gets up with the block. No fuel to assist, but they still manage for the stop again. Off of the corner, Indiana Tech could close it right here, right now. Around the ring they go, pass to center field, cleared again by TK, and Mount Union Purple with one last chance, one last opportunity. The ball refuses to die, but OT, well, it was always coming around.
Man, it felt like the bend but don't break was broken. Look at this chance off the fade, and overtime winner for feed as Indiana Tech get it done yet again. We'll go up 3-0 in this series.
Number 4, maybe number 5 in terms of kickoff goals for Indiana Tech B. The best thing that they could do was, if they didn't score on the first kickoff, score on the second. They waited 5 minutes to get there and secure the win for it. And then now, you know, BearLight, this puts Mount Union in a very difficult position because they did so well to hold the line, right? To reduce the goal scoring of Indiana Tech B to 0 during regulation. But now you've got to win 4 in a row just for a chance at that championship game.
And it's a question of how do you approach this? Because right now, the bend but don't break, it's been working, except you haven't been able to generate offense because there are very minimal holes from Indiana Tech B.
Right.
And when you've been able to create some of those holes and get some demos on the defensive line, in addition to that, create even more chances, then that's when the opportunity, when you took out that demo, your teammate is in desperation mode defensively, looking to get it out and get a pass down the pitch, but you're busy trying to get the demo. I've seen that in a couple of instances where it's like, danged if you do, danged if you don't, right? Just not able to find the right opportunity because you're busy trying to create those chances. So every little moment matters, and I really do feel like Indiana Tech's been prepared for just about everything. That's what you get with one of these top-notch schools and a lot of experience within your program, you certainly get a lot of great plays, great decision-making. Feels like it's so hard to break through type of situation that we're finding from Indiana Tech.
I think it's going to come down to disruption. Like you said, Indiana Tech looking better and better as the series goes. I think they're just getting more comfortable on the pitch. And how do you get more comfortable than this? A floating cloud leads to, I don't know, a hailstorm, bringing down the heat for the first goal.
Man, that's certainly a way to force Mount Union to chase the game, is by scoring within the first 10 seconds, essentially. It'll be 11 seconds into this game, and now Mount Union's going to feel like this game ticks down quickly. The desperation will set in, and that's not a way to play Ben, but don't break, because he'll break through. Chippy again, 2-0, Indiana Tech.
So the cloud floated, and then we got a chip goal from Chippy. Okay, I see what y'all are doing here. I need Feed to get about 3 goals this game, and then everyone's cleared. He needs to get on his feast, and he's been close all series long, but Mount Union Purple, this game 4 is getting less than close. If they want to be present in this series, we're going to need to see some kind of offensive production, but we're seeing it on the other end. Cloud nearly with the air dribble ball.
Yeah, certainly. Looking for a storm from Thunder, ice in the veins from Icy, and I'll let you take TK Zanny if you want, but I'm not touching that.
I'll think about it. Yeah.
Another great passing play here from Indiana Tech. That one's tracked all the way. Shot taken as well, but TK Zanny right in the right place, right time to make a save. And when you make little wins like that, you want to be able to kind of celebrate those and get the communication going yet again. Great bump attempt, but Chippy came across again in support to make sure that shot didn't even take place in the first play.
Mm-hmm. Listen, that's what's needed. We may get to that defense wins championship style of gameplay that we've seen so much in this series. Again, games 1 and 3. It took in game 1 maybe 3.5 minutes to see our first goal. It took in game 3 all the way until overtime to see something push through. And you mentioned that's because there's very few holes in these teams, but the gap has to be found. And this time around for Mount Union Purple, they're trying to create it with 2 aerial strikers. Neither of them finding the ball on that play. Icy able to just get up for that save. Mount Union Purple, it's going to be more than just the blocks from Icy to get back in this game.
And although I like the confidence here, the double commit just tells you how little off they seem to be in this moment when pressure is on them. Again, there it is, wide open net here as they're able to get back, but Chippy will make sure, just a little bit of insurance policy, not only just in that goal specifically, but also in this game, a 3-0 big gap. The biggest lead we've seen all series long comes when Indiana Tech's up 3-0.
And that was nasty from Feed. I loved that angular shot that we saw that came right off the nose of that aerial play and whipped it to the bottom corner. Chippy, a great 50 to dunk it in, but just this team looking better and better for Indiana Tech B as the series goes.
Mount Union Purple again. Maybe just a metaphor for what we've seen was them going up for that ball and just missing short. And Chippy, well, tapped this one in too. So Indiana Tech B looks like they're walking away with this one for sure. Mount Union Purple just haven't had an answer, and that'll happen, you know, especially when you're in a situation. You talked about it. I've talked about it. Bend but don't break. And finally, the floodgates open when you're not able to win those close wins. That's when you start to get frustrated. And when you start to get frustrated against a team as prestigious as Indiana Tech B is, that's when things really start to fall apart. And I feel like that's what we're witnessing here right now, Pyro.
Yeah. Listen, this series was on a balancing beam for a few games here, and it was going to come down to bend or break, and you've got to credit Indiana Tech B on a great strategy. These guys do not let up. It is crash the boards constantly, and that can exhaust teams. It's exactly what we saw in today's semifinals, and kudos to Indiana Tech B for not pivoting off it, not adjusting after they conceded counterattack goals. They just sharpened their efforts on their recoveries and started really dialing in on the shot taking. So Just impressive to see the development throughout the series. With a minute 30 remaining, it's going to be a long shot for this team to come on back, but what a beauty on the counter. The give and go, 1-1 with Thunder laying it in.
Certainly a good start for sure, and you finally kind of got a back and forth. Thunder read that play incredibly well, and instead of becoming a spectator, was able to jump up in place. Perfect back and forth, give and go, if you will. Mount Union Purple, maybe a little bit too late here to start to shine and make plays like that. You wish you saw it a little bit sooner. But that one is just going to secure it even further. So nullifying everything there in true frustrating your opponent's Indiana Tech style there.
That's right. This is a, hey, championship-making team right here of Indiana Tech. It is the fact that they're not rattled. Right, by a single counterattack goal, they're going to punch back, and they're going to punch back harder. Icy, fantastic 50 that lays the ball right up towards the net. It is saved in time by Chippy. Thunder with a good opportunity here. Played back again by Chippy. TK trying to get anything started for the team. They may resort to telekinesis if they have to. Some kind of magical wonder may be required to get Mount Union back in.
And that all goes back to what you're saying, the never give up type of situation there from Indiana Tech. And like you were saying a little bit earlier, you know, they continue to just make it so that Mount Union Purple hasn't been able to find solutions at all. They'll get one here, but at the same time, it's been answered back just about every single time. They didn't change their strategy. They didn't need to. And when those goals do go in, it's just you trust the process, get ahead on the scoreboard, and see if they can ride this out here. Mount Union Purple making it interesting, pulling it back within 3. But again, once I said a little bit too late, I still feel that's true, especially if you're going to miss opportunities like that.
That's right. DK with one last show for this ultimate journey. The Mount Union Purple have had an incredible regular season of 5-2. Fantastic win in the quarterfinals against Illini Blue. 4-2 series that they featured there. But the top 4 are for Giants, and standing taller at the end of this series, high amongst their competition, was Indiana Tech B with a 4-0 sweep, and naturally a 6th goal to cap it off.
Yeah, just the statement piece here at the end, trying to maybe install fear whenever they go up against the winner of RMU and NIU Black here in the finals. Again, that coverage will not be on broadcast, but it's certainly one to keep eyes on. And you got the bracket ahead of you, that's what you got to do. But the Spartans, to your point, able to stand tall. Indiana Tech B to the finals of the Mid-East Regional of Division III.
Congratulations, Indiana Tech B, and what a performance during this matchup. Again, typically when we get to the semifinals, you meet a new challenge, right? You get someone from a different conference of your region, and you have to adjust, you have to adapt. But Indiana Tech B, they just drilled their heels in further. They said, we will not stop rebounding. We will not stop going for those kickoff goals. And yeah, we may be slow on the recovery at times, but that's a risk we're willing to take. And they made it again and again and again and again in game number 4 until those goals were too much to muster for Mount Union. Fantastic to see them. And as you mentioned, BearLight, they'll go up against that winner of RMU and NIU in their championships here of this conference.
It's impressive, the work that we saw from Indiana Tech B here, because in order to make sure that you prevent yourself from seeing those counterattack goals, which, again, to Mount Union Purple's credit, that is the way to approach Indiana Tech, especially if they're able to outspeed you a little bit and frustrate you with some demos there. You have to be basically perfect there in every single moment there from Indiana Tech B, and it felt like they certainly were here, and you got to give them credit for sure. Well, that game match is settled here, and that's brought to you by BearLight as well. So gamers, I know your eyes are taking a beating out there. I get it. Me too. But BearLight has me covered, and it's got you covered as well. So premium blue light glasses, keeping you sharp, keeping you focused, and ready for victory without any eye strain whatsoever. So level up your game and protect your vision. Check out BearLight today, official eye care partner of the NECC. That is BYE BlueLight.com, BYE, BlueLight.com. Pyro, more Rocket League coming at you, man.
That's right. We're not saying bye quite yet. We're saying see ya in a sec. Division 3 to Division 6 playoffs coming at you after this break.